All right, basic band, basic eternity band. Design sketches ring. The fellow that needs help is looking for a comfort fit and just a basic square shank like this with a comfort fit. So since it's an eternity and it's the same thickness all the way around, we only need it at the top. I'm going to right-click on the sketch and edit. Now, this part here, you come in and you manipulate it the way you like. He would like 3 millimeter wide baguette. So I'm going to make this 4 millimeters. So we have a little bit more than a half on each side. We'll build it and then pull the surface over the top just a little bit. So, right-click, modify, 4 millimeters. Whatever your height is, when you have comfort fits, zoom in and pay attention to this bottom dimension. This is all a part of your height from the finger. So we got 2.5 plus a half. So we're at 3 millimeters high, which is pretty thick. Okay, I'm going to knock this down to 1.5. Okay, so now we're at a total of 2 thick. If your comfort fit's too intense, you want to make it a little bit harder, right-click, modify it, knock it down to 1/4. Again, you can build rough in the beginning, crude, and then come in and fine-tune it afterwards. I'm going to leave it at 2 millimeters by 4. I'm going to right-click, exit the sketch, shape, revolve. I'm going to set up my axis right away. It's y-axis, revolve type. It's really not too important if it's two-sided or one-sided. One-sided, you just don't have to put anything in here. Since it's closed, I like to have no end caps right here. Okay, so I'm going to go in and pick my sketch. Notice it wants to, it's allowing me to directly edit this, but I'm just going to come in and type in 360. Okay, so here is a basic band, all right? I'm going to go into my Design Sketches ring, Miscellaneous Sketches, and I'm going to back it up over here, and I'm going to pick this band inlay, since it's symmetrical all the way around. And I'm going to put it on the front view plane. Okay? You want to come into this sketch, and we can play with this. I'll show you what you can do so you can put more or less baguettes at any time, and there's just a lot of different things we can do with this. I'll go through a few strategies here. But for the moment, I want this ring size to match that over there, and it is. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay. Now this dimension here will tell us how many baguettes, how far around do you want these baguettes to go. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to, for the moment set it up for 45. Always keeping in mind that this can be modified and all these changes will follow along with us. Sorry, I made a mistake. Want to go back in there, and I want to trace this profile right here. That's it. Just that. And OK to command. Okay, so when we leave the sketch and we create a feature off of this, it's only going to recognize the blue area. So I want 3 millimeters. I'll put my end at 1.5. My direction will be naturally along the y-axis. I want it to be closed. And I'm going to thicken this. First, let's bring it in. And let's set it up to cut. Okay, you could do a quick inlay like that, but in this case, we don't want to do an inlay. We want to cut all the way through. Okay, so now, like this, we got a 0.5 millimeter on each side. And we'll approve the command. I'm going to put in a quick guide surface, ruled, from edge to edge. Okay, being that our seam is at the top, I'm going to do a right-click, insert curve list for one side, and right-click, insert curve list for the other, because I want them picked as one. I'll reverse this face. And let's come in with our baguettes between two curves. That's not important. Now, on this tool, you have to pay attention. It wants to pick two A curves. Don't let it. Let's come in here, see if it grabs the entire edge. Right there, 1, middle click, 2, middle click, surface. Okay, it's defaulting to 5 pieces. There's 7. Okay, now, gem depth, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Let's come into about 1.25. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, we're going to knock this down on our elevation. We're going to bring our bridge down further. We'll change our bridge width. You guys use your own judgment on this. And the bridge angle, you can kick up your step size to 1 or 0.1 on these here. I'm going to go a clean 40. And let's see. We don't have to go 3 here. I'll just come down to 2. And our gems, let's come down a little bit lower. All right, so since this is a comfort fit, we can't come in and just clean out the shank. It'll look ugly in there. Let's get rid of this top surface. We want these to be trimmed to follow the contour of the comfort fit. So we'll go to wireframe, intersection curve, and we want face datum. Our first shape is this face. Our second shape is this top-down datum. So we get these curves. We don't need them on both sides, we'll just use one. We'll extend these, both sides, and I'll extend them linear. And I want to extend the curve, not the edge. And revolve it along the y-axis. You could test it and see if it does a trim for you. Okay, it's not going to because these come in as components. So I'll set it up as a base. And I'm going to take these components, shift right click, left click on each one of these, right click, merge. And now I'll trim these shapes. Holding down did a shift right click first. And now since they're all selected, I'll do a right-click trim, and I'll trim with this surface. And now I'm going to flip side to keep, and we don't need to keep that surface. So now it follows the contour of the inside of the ring. Right-click, let's Boolean edit. There you go. Okay, we'll blank out the shank so you can see what's inside for your setters. You have a nice little bridge in here. If you want to make it lower, you can do it in history. You want to make a groove, you can do that. You want to bring this over more, you can, put the wall over a little bit more, whatever you prefer. It's all set up. I'm just going to undo that. All right, so we have this 7-stone band. That's 3 millimeters in length. What if you had this in stock, okay? And you have a customer comes in and they're maybe bigger or smaller, want more or less baguettes, or want the same baguettes and a little bit narrower. You have all the components here to do that. You don't have to rebuild. So, well, let's see. Let's say we come into the ring size J. All right? And we want the stones to be narrower. Come in the sketch, knock it down. Play with it at 40. Exit. Aha, I forgot something. We want this number to be the same as this ring sketch number, 15.6. Again, this is going to be a tool, but it's best to know how to handle these things from scratch. This way you'll become very good at the program. Okay, so you can just come in and play and then edit. See, it's following the last curve, right? You got 3 stones. 3 millimeter stones. I forgot to come in and make it narrower. So let me come in and modify this sketch again. Go 40. Okay, so notice it's inside more. You have no choice. The stones are going to be narrower. There you go. I don't know if you see it, but these have been automatically made narrower on the width. Okay, so everything is here to make changes. There'll probably be something like this, where you can come in and change your profiles. Okay, so far, any questions? Text them to me, any questions. It doesn't have to even pertain to this model. So I'm not going to, my main intention for this meeting is to take questions for rough spots you guys are running into. It's not necessarily to build models. We're going to build a lot of models, a lot of basic models. so you can dig in and do them step by step. So this is the time to talk about issues that you're running into with the program, software, modeling, whatever it is. All right, what if we wanted to go on around more and add more stones? Let's do it. On top of it, let's come in and let's make this much bigger. Okay? So, let's go to our ring sizer. And let's make it a size 10, 19.7. Okay? Let's continue to this sketch and edit. Let's right-click, modify this, 19.7. Let's come in here and let's open this up to, let's say, 75. Okay, so now we're going to have baguettes coming all the way around. Okay, but now we got to continue, right-click, continue to this command and edit this command because we don't want 7 anymore. You can and put them in this way, but you may want to kick it up and put in 20 pieces. Okay, so what's going to happen here is because we have more pieces, we're going to have more components that need to be adjusted. We'll work it out. Okay, so we're coming in, erasing that surface, it's automatic, and bringing in our wire, extending it, revolving it. Notice it's not going all the way this time, right? Let's just undo that revolve and edit. And let's just drag it around. Okay, now we're going to merge components, but we have more. I want to be careful. I'm going to press this pencil. Look at what happened. It grabbed the 7 because it's recognizing 7 or 8. I'm going to unpick all, and I want to pick in here. And OK to command. And now I also want to trim and add to this here. And we'll add them. See how it goes. All right. Make it all one color. We're working on some dynamic rendering. I typically should bring in a studio, but this here is, we're going to have live rendering. With the studio, it comes out nicer, and then there's 2 choices. For the people who purchase Thea, actually, you can get a pretty good image with Thea live. Again, this is without the studio, so you can it doesn't show up as good. But it's live rendering. You could come in, move it around, and it'll automatically render again for you. Okay. All right, any other questions? What I'm going to do, since I forgot to record in the beginning when I was doing the trillion, is I'm going to bring it up again. From scratch. Okay, and I'm going to move a little bit faster. All right, so we'll do two ways to make a trillion halo given what we have on this screen. Shape, sweep, sketch, curve on that. Set it up as a base. Face offset. Both sides. Extend it out. And reflect is good. If you want linear, do linear. Right click, trim. Side view datum. Bingo. Extend the bottom edge. Both sides. Wrong edge. Right here. Shape. Extrude this curve. We'll do two sides. Right here, I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. Okay to command. Copy. 360 divided by 3. 2 copies. Z-axis. Shapes 1 and 2. Entity filter on shape. Right click. Trim. Flip side. Right click. Trim. And I'm going to flip on all of these. Okay. Put pave in on the surface. First, I'm going to extend this edge back in a negative direction. In this case, I'm going to come a negative. I'm going to do a -1. And this one here, well, maybe I'll bump this edge up just a hair. See if we can get a little bit more room on this. I'm going to go 0.2 on this and okay it. And then just come in with our pave, gems between two curves, and I'm no longer going between an edge and a curve. I'm going to go curve to curve. Curve 1, curve 2, and I'll pop it in. Spread the stones. In my oversize, I'm going to right click, go to step size. 0.01 is good. Reduce it down until I could pop another stone in. Bingo. You want to get more space, just kick up your minimum distance. I'm going to leave it at this for now. Okay. Gem settings. Scaled prongs. Well, we don't want to exceed 1. We'll come down on 0.5 on the depth, 0.5 on the height. We'll do this afterwards. We're going to pick these as a feature. Right click, absolute. And we'll come in. You could swivel these around and play with them as you like. Excuse me. You want to come over here? Come over here. Me, I'm pick last if you want to do it like that. I prefer not to overlap. Okay, so you just play as you like here. And I'll do the same on the other side. Actually, I don't have to. We'll mirror across this, Rachel. Okay, use that datum since you have it in there already. Just mirror across there. Well, I'm sorry, unpick last. We don't want to mirror that. This here we're going to put in manually, and we'll mirror the manual beats in. So I'm just going to put something somewhat sloppy in here. And approve the command. Exit this here. Yeah, this here I could have played a little bit different, but I'll leave it at that for now. 0.5, again, depth, height, points. We'll make it a little bit smaller in here. And then a little bit smaller again over here. And these two we can mirror across this datum, Rachel. Okay, and OK to command. This I would change. Don't want that like that. Do the same on the other side. Play with it as you like. Okay, bring in your cutters, pilot, set it up as a feature. And I like to scale mine down about 0.85 or 0.9. Well, I forgot to reduce my height, so let me just come in here and play. First of all, I'll make my depth on the cutter a little bit deeper than 0.6. I'll go 1.25 and apply it. That'll compensate for that distance. Merge cutters, pick it as a feature, base, here, and that's it. Okay, so that's one way to go, Rachel. The other way is like this. Shape, extrude. We're going to pick it as a sketch this time. Middle click, and then we're going to come down. I think you have a negative 1.4, something like that. But I blended. Redefine last. Offset, thicken. Okay, so I'm going to come in here, and we're going to kick it out. 1.5. I don't know exactly what you need on your width here, but you can play with it and see for yourself how far you want to go. I'll leave it at 1.5 for now. Come in with an asymmetrical chamfer. And again, remember, edge first, top face. Edge first, top face. Okay, so it's an edge and a top face. And then you can play with your angle over here, however you like. Okay, so that's the second strategy, right? Two strategies. All right, any questions? Any other questions? Okay, everybody, have a terrific night. I'm going to post this recording tomorrow or later tonight inside the Wistia Paid Basic Training and Advanced Training folder. Good night.